Elena Ashworth stood at the edge of the great hall, wrapped in a plain grey shawl while every other woman in the room wore silk. The Crimson Moon Pack had gathered for the coronation of their new Alpha King, Damian Voss, and the air buzzed with excitement that never once included her. She had learned long ago to stand near the walls, close enough to belong, but far enough not to be noticed. Elena had lived among this pack since she was 7 years old, after her parents were killed in a border war with a rival territory. The elders had taken her in out of duty, not love, and she had grown up carrying the quiet shame of being an outsider's daughter. Worse than that, in a pack where every wolf's strength was measured and admired, Elena's wolf had never once shown itself. No one had seen her shift, not even in training, and the whispers followed her everywhere. They called her the girl with no wolf, the weak blood, the burden the pack had been too kind to abandon. What none of them knew was that Elena's wolf was very much alive. It slept beneath her skin like a secret flame, patient and enormous, waiting for the right moment to breathe. Her mother had warned her before she died that some wolves are born strong enough to become targets, and that showing power too soon could bring danger instead of respect. So Elena hid herself year after year and let the pack believe she was nothing at all. Tonight, the elders would perform the mating ceremony, a ritual older than the pack itself, meant to reveal the fated match of the new alpha. Elena did not care to watch. She only wanted to slip away before the ceremony ended and return to the quiet corner of the world she had carved out for herself. But when the elder began the ancient chant, the air in the hall shifted, and a golden thread of light stretched from Damian Voss straight across the room, landing on her chest like a spark. Every eye turned. The Alpha King's mate bond had chosen Elena Ashworth. Whispers turned to gasps, then to laughter, sharp and cruel. Damian's face twisted first in confusion, then in disbelief, and finally in anger. He was young, powerful, and proud, the kind of alpha born to be admired, and the idea that fate had chosen a nobody to stand beside him felt like an insult to everything he had worked to become. He crossed the hall in furious strides and stopped before her, towering and cold. "This cannot be correct," he said, loud enough for the whole pack to hear. "I refuse this bond. She is no one. She carries no title, no wolf worth speaking of, and no place beside a king." Elena's chest tightened, but she did not let her face show the pain crawling through her. She had endured worse than words before. Still, hearing them spoken in front of hundreds of pack members, spoken by the very man fate had chosen for her, cut deeper than she expected. "I reject you as my mate," Damian said, his voice ringing through the silent hall. "You will remain in this pack out of mercy, nothing more." The words landed like a physical blow. A rejection spoken aloud broke something ancient and sacred, a wound that could never fully heal, yet Elena forced herself to nod once, turn, and walk away before her tears could betray her. She would not give the pack the satisfaction of watching her fall apart. That night, she made her choice. She would not stay in a place that saw her as a burden, nor beside a man who had just humiliated her before the only family she had ever known, however distant that family had always kept her. She packed a small bag, slipped through the training yard, and disappeared into the dark forest surrounding the pack's territory, intending to build a new life far from Crimson Moon. She had barely crossed the second ridge of trees when the scent of unfamiliar wolves reached her. Rogue wolves, sensing the chaos of a broken mate bond and the vulnerability it created, had been watching the pack's borders for exactly this kind of opportunity. 3 of them emerged from the shadows, eyes gleaming with hunger for territory and blood. Elena's heart pounded, but there was nowhere left to run. She had spent her whole life burying her wolf beneath fear and caution, yet in this moment, cornered and desperate, something ancient inside her finally broke free. Her body convulsed, bones shifting with a force that shook the ground beneath her. What emerged was not the weak, unremarkable creature the pack had always imagined. A wolf the color of moonlight rose before the attackers, larger than any wolf seen in generations, radiating a presence so powerful the rogues froze in place before they could even attack. The battle was swift. Elena's wolf moved with instinctive grace, striking with precision and power passed down through a bloodline far older and rarer than anyone had guessed. Within minutes, the rogues fled into the darkness, defeated and terrified, leaving Elena standing alone in the moonlit clearing, breathing hard, her secret finally exposed to the night sky. Unknown to her, several pack guards, sent by the elders to track her departure, had witnessed everything from a distance. By morning, the story had already spread through Crimson Moon like wildfire. The nobody girl, the one their new alpha had rejected before the entire pack, possessed a wolf of legendary bloodline, a creature the elders whispered belonged to the old spirit wolves, spoken of only in ancient stories. Damien heard the news within hours, and the ground seemed to shift beneath him. He had rejected the most powerful wolf his pack had seen in a century, and he had done it in front of everyone. Worse, the rejection bond he had triggered did not simply disappear because he wished it away. Ancient magic did not work that way. A rejected mate bond leaves the one who rejected it weakened, tethered to a broken connection that slowly drains their strength unless it is repaired or fully severed through a painful, rare ritual. Within a day, Damien began to feel it. His control over his own wolf grew unstable, his senses dulled at odd moments. The pack elders, sensing his weakening presence, grew anxious, for an alpha's strength was tied directly to the safety and unity of the pack. Whispers of doubt began circling him just as fast as the rumors about Elena's true nature had spread. He tried to convince himself the discomfort would fade with time, but instead it grew worse, gnawing at him with every passing hour, a constant reminder of the mistake he had made in a moment of wounded pride. Meanwhile, Elena traveled through neutral territory, trying to outrun both her past and the growing legend now attached to her name. She had not asked for fame, nor had she wanted the attention now following her every step. Alphas from rival packs, once indifferent to her existence, suddenly sent messengers offering alliances, protection, even courtship, each of them eager to claim the bloodline everyone had underestimated for so long. She refused every offer. She had spent her whole life being invisible, and now she refused to become a prize fought over by strangers who saw only her wolf's power and not the woman standing behind it. It was on the 5th day of her journey, resting beside a quiet stream, that Damien finally found her. He arrived alone, without guards, without the golden crown he had worn at his coronation, dressed simply, his usual confidence replaced by something Elena had never seen in him before, uncertainty. "You should not be here," Elena said without turning to face him. Damien answered, his voice quieter than she remembered, "But I could not stay away." She finally turned, studying him carefully. Whatever pride had driven him to reject her in front of the pack seemed to have drained from his face, leaving behind someone tired, and perhaps, for the first time, honest. "You made your choice already," she said. "You told the entire pack I was nothing. Nothing has changed since then, except now everyone wants what they think my wolf can give them. Nothing has changed for me." Damien took a step closer, but stopped when she raised her hand. "I was wrong," he said. "I was afraid. My father spent my whole life telling me that weakness was the greatest danger to a king, and when the mate bond chose someone the pack saw as weak, I panicked. I let fear speak before I let myself see you clearly. And now that you know I'm not weak," Elena said, her voice steady but sharp, "now you want me back?" "No," Damien said quickly. "That is not why I'm here. I came because the bond is breaking me apart, yes, but more than that, I came because I cannot stop thinking about the way you walked away that night, without a single tear falling in front of anyone, even though I know I hurt you. I came because I have spent every day since realizing that I judged you before I ever tried to know you." Elena said nothing for a long moment, letting the quiet stretch between them. She had imagined many versions of this meeting during her journey, most of them ending with her walking away without looking back. But something about the rawness in his voice, the absence of the arrogance that had defined him at the coronation, made her hesitate. "You rejected me in front of everyone," she said finally. "If I ever return, it cannot be as a quiet apology no one sees. It has to be undone, the same way it was done, in front of the whole pack." Damien nodded immediately. "There is a ritual," he said. "It is rare, and it is humbling, but it exists. An alpha who rejects his mate can only reclaim the bond by publicly renouncing his pride before the pack and earning her forgiveness in front of everyone who witnessed the rejection. I would have to kneel before you, before all of them, and ask for a second chance I do not deserve. You would do that? Elena asked. In front of the elders, the guards, everyone who laughed. I would do it 100 times, if it meant proving to you that I see you now, truly see you, and not just the wolf everyone suddenly fears and desires. Elena studied him for a long moment, weighing his words against everything she had endured. She did not owe him forgiveness, not yet, but something in his voice told her this was not the same man who had humiliated her days earlier. If I return, she said slowly, it will not be as a quiet queen standing behind you. I will stand beside you as an equal, with my voice carrying the same weight as yours in matters of the pack. My bloodline will be respected, not just tolerated, and I will never again be treated as though my worth depends on what I can offer others. Agreed, Damien said without hesitation. Everything you ask, I accept. 3 days later, the pack gathered once more in the same great hall where the rejection had taken place. This time, Damien stood before the assembled crowd, not with pride, but with humility, and knelt before Elena as she entered, her steps calm and certain. The same elders who had once whispered about her weakness now watched in stunned silence as Damien spoke words of apology and renewal, admitting his fear, his pride, and his mistake in front of everyone who had witnessed his cruelty. When he finished, he looked up at her, waiting. Elena let the silence stretch, giving the moment its full weight, before she finally extended her hand to him. I accept this bond, she said, not because you are a king, but because you were willing to become someone worthy of standing beside me. As their hands touched, the golden thread of the mate bond reformed, brighter and steadier than before, filling the hall with a warmth every pack member could feel. For the first time, Elena let her wolf step forward in front of everyone, no longer hidden, no longer a secret kept out of fear. The pale, moonlit wolf stood proudly beside Damien, and this time, no one dared to laugh. From that day forward, Elena ruled beside Damien not as an afterthought, but as the heart of the pack's strength, her once hidden wolf becoming a symbol of pride rather than shame. The story of her rejection, once whispered with mockery, became instead the story pack members told with admiration, a reminder that true strength often hides quietly until the moment it is needed most, and that even the proudest hearts can learn, in time, to kneel, to change, and to love without condition.